Starting a dropshipping business these days should be easier than ever. We've got AI that can literally build stores in minutes, automate everything, basically do all of the heavy lifting. So why are most people still struggling to make their first sale? Everyone's got access to the same tools, the same platforms, the same everything. The thing is, most people are just overwhelmed by all these options and end up doing things the hard way without even realizing it. Now, the stuff that's actually working right now is pretty much the complete opposite of what everyone teaches. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look, whether you've tried this before and gotten nowhere, or you're completely new and just want the fastest, most efficient path, you don't need to be some marketing genius or have thousands of dollars to test. You just need to know where to look and what to look for. And once you see how straightforward this actually is, you're gonna wonder why everyone makes it so complicated. So if you wanna start making consistent sales, this is how to do it. Now, dropshipping itself is pretty straightforward. You create an online store, you add products you wanna sell, and when someone makes a purchase, your supplier handles the shipping directly to the customer. So you're essentially the bridge between the customer and the supplier. So for example, if you find a product for $8, you list it for $35 on your store, you keep that $27 difference minus your advertising cost. Now, the core concept hasn't changed much over the past years, but what has changed is how accessible it's become. See, AI tools have basically removed most of the technical barriers. What used to require hiring designers, developers, and copywriters can now be done by one person in a fraction of the time and for a fraction of the cost. But here's where most people still get messed up. They think that having better tools automatically means better results. They're building stores faster, they're finding products quicker, but they're still doing everything in the wrong sequence. They're optimizing for speed instead of strategy, so building first instead of finding buyers first and then building exactly what they want. So that's the real key here. It's not just about doing things different, it's about understanding why this approach actually works. Because when you do this right, you're saving months of guesswork, you're avoiding expensive failed products, and you're building a brand that actually lasts instead of just throwing stuff at the wall hoping something sticks. So let me show you exactly how this works. So getting into products specifically and how to go about finding products that actually make money. And believe it or not, but right from ground zero, this is already where most people mess up. They're out here trying to reinvent the wheel when there's already a much easier path. So we're gonna go straight to products that are already making money for other people, because if someone's spending thousands of dollars on ads for a product month after month, they're making money, period. Companies don't just burn cash for fun. And the best part is this method I'm about to show you is completely free. All you're gonna need is your phone and maybe 20 minutes of your time. Now, before we dive into the method itself, you first have to know what we're gonna be looking for, because I see people waste weeks chasing products that were never gonna work from day one, and that's simply because they don't know what to look for. Here's what I've learned after testing hundreds of products. There are really just two things that matter. Can you make money on it, and will people actually buy it? Everything else is just details. So let's keep this simple. When I'm scanning for products, I'm always asking myself 4 quick questions. Can I triple my money? So if I'm paying $10, I need to charge at least $30, not because I'm greedy, but because once you factor in ads, fees, everything else, anything less than that, and you're basically working for free. Is this thing a pain to ship? If it's heavy, if it's fragile or huge, it's gonna eat into your profits. So I like to stick to stuff that's easy to package and doesn't cost a fortune to ship. And 3, do people actually need this? And I'm not talking about want, I'm talking about need. The products that work solve real problems that people deal with every single day. And here's the big one. Are people already passionate about this category? Because passionate people, they spend money, they research products, they join communities, they actually care enough to buy something online from a store that they've never heard of. And that's it, 4 questions. If something checks all these boxes, we move to validation. If not, we keep scrolling. The main thing is not overthinking this. We're not looking for the perfect product. We're looking for products that already work and find ways to make them better. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to train the algorithm to show us exactly what's working right now. So you can do this on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, honestly, whatever platform that you spend the most time on already, the strategy is going to be exactly the same across all of them. So I'm going to go to my feed, and what I'm doing here is I'm looking for any sponsored posts or organic videos that are going viral. Now, every single time that I see one, I'm going to be engaging by liking it, saving it, maybe clicking the shop now button just to see where that goes. So what I'm telling the algorithm is, hey, I am someone who actually buys products online. And what's going to happen is over the next 15 to 20 minutes, the platform is going to start showing me more and more product-based ads, or ads that are most similar to that ad that I initially engaged with. And what I want you to take note of is that these aren't just random products. These are products that companies are actively spending advertising dollars on right now. So we're basically getting a free look at what might be working or what they are testing. Now here's where we take it even a step further than most people. I'm not just looking at the fact that people are engaging, but I'm also reading the emotion behind that engagement. So you want to be seeing comments that show real excitement and urgency. Now an example might be something along the lines of, I've been looking for something like this forever, or finally somebody made this, or just ordered 3 of these, I'll share a pic when I complete it. When you compare that to comments like cool product or even where can I buy this, those do in fact show some interest, but they're pretty much surface level for the most part. What I really want to see is people tagging their friends, having actual conversations in the comments, or sharing their own problems. That is when you know people are emotionally invested enough to actually spend money. Now, once I find something with that kind of engagement, here's my 2-minute validation check. First, I'm checking the meta ad library to see if companies are actively running ads. Now, if they've been running the same ad for multiple weeks on end, that is a green light because companies just don't spend money on ads that don't work. Second, I'm using SimilarWeb to check their website traffic. Basically, I want to see how many people are actually visiting their website each and every month. Now, if they've got steady or growing traffic, that tells me that their marketing is in fact working and people are interested enough to click from the ad itself to the website to potentially buy their product. So the algorithm is basically doing the market research for us, right? It's showing us products that are already proven to work with real people telling us exactly what they want and what they're frustrated with. Now you could potentially bypass the fee conditioning method that I just showed you by using a tool like, for example, Callow data. But if you are just starting out, I personally think that it's gonna be better for you to learn how to do this the manual way, and it's gonna be less money if you have, very little or minimal startup capital. Now, once you have found your proven winner, building your store becomes a strategic part, and this is where most people either nail it or they completely mess up. So let's talk about actually setting this thing up so we can start making money. Now, the difference between a dropshipping side hustle that makes you a few $100 and an actual business that scales comes down to one thing: how you set up your systems from day one. Now, the first system that's gonna separate you from everyone else is your brand identity. Now, most people, they completely skip this step and they wonder why their store feels cheap. Here's the reality: customers, they can spot a generic dropshipping store immediately. They see generic names like Deal Hunter Store and they think, okay, this is just another dropshipping dude, I'm gonna click away. But stores that are crushing it, they position themselves as actual brands from day one. And I want you to simply think about it. Would you rather buy from a store called Kitchen Gadget Store or Chef Craft? Same product, but one feels like a real company that you can trust. When I first started, I used to sit for hours trying to brainstorm the perfect name, but there's actually a way smarter way to handle this now. I personally like to use this website. It's called design.com. Super simple. All you gotta do is go to the AI business name generator. You can simply just input a couple sentences describing your brand or your identity or your vision, or you can just, for example, put beauty. Maybe you're selling eyelashes, cosmetics, whatever you like, and then generate, and it's gonna come up with brandable names that are available along with the logos attached. So you can play around with the length from short, medium, long, and then styles, modern, professional, creative, and then it'll update it and it'll give you a series of brand names like this. So you can continue to find brand names. Another thing that you can do is use ChatGPT and type in the prompt like this: here's the product that I'm selling and my competitor brand. I want you to come up with 10 brand names that fully resonate with my ICP, my ideal customer profile. Let's make it sound fresh, elegant, and luxury. So once I did that, it gave me 10 brandable names given the competitor that I added in here along with my AliExpress product. So we can see that we have Noir Lash, Eclat Noir, Essence Noir, and I refined it, so give me 10 more that are different, don't include lash, Andra, Serene Noir, Vivelnia. So let's just say, for example, I like this one right here. We're gonna go back to design.com. We're gonna go to website, and then from here, domains. And now I wanna check to see if this domain name is in fact available. So I'll go check that, and then it's gonna scan, and we want that .com domain. So we can see right here, .com is not available, but .co is available. Generally, we don't want .co. We want to get that .com. If I really love this name, then I could do something like Shop Favelna or Official like this, and then see if that's available. If it's not available, then I will just have to continue to search for a brand name that is available based on what I like. So all you really have to do to secure this domain name is go to Buy Now. And then from here, we don't need the domain privacy. You can do it for 1 year, 2 years, however many years, and it's just gonna be $16 for the domain. And what this is the branding, so that whenever someone types thevelniaofficial.com, they're gonna get directed straight to your website. So this is gonna be very essential. Now, after you go in and pick up that domain name, the next thing that you're gonna want is a logo. So all you gotta do is go onto logos, and let's say we're gonna continue to go with this name. The official is not necessary within the logo, so we'll just go there, start now. I want something more stylish, luxury. All right, this one right here looks super clean. clean. So let's go black on white. Don't really need a slogan. You can easily just customize colors, fonts, so on and so forth. But let's just say I really like this one as it is. I can download it just like that. So within a matter of minutes, we're able to brainstorm a brand name that sounds professional, that doesn't seem like a gimmick-like brand. We're also able to get that .com so that when anyone types in vivelnaofficial.com, they're gonna get redirected to my website where they can buy my products. And then we also just got a high-quality logo that looks really good off the rip. But the main thing is that your store is doing most of the trust building work before customers even see your products. So you wanna get a name that sounds like a real business, and everything else becomes much easier. So now we're ready to actually start building the store itself. Here's where most people go completely backwards. They spend weeks obsessing over stuff customers literally never notice. Like, you'll see people tweaking fonts for days. They'll be adjusting colors, moving elements around by 2 pixels. Meanwhile, their store has 0 products and no way to actually take orders. Now, from my experience, I've learned that customers, they really don't care about the nitty-gritty or if your store is perfect. They care if it works and if they can trust enough to buy the product. So what they do actually notice, they notice a clean product page, a fast loading, smooth checkout, and that's gonna be the majority of it. Now, the crazy part is, with tools that we have now, you can get all that stuff handled automatically while you can focus on stuff that actually makes you money. And on top of that, they actually make the stores look way, way more professional than anything that you could do by yourself. Now, I've been testing pretty much every single store builder that you can possibly test out there. And honestly, this one right here, it's called Dropmagic. As of this moment, right now, it's the best of its kind. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. You guys are gonna absolutely trip. So let's just go to the example. Let's just say that this is a competitor store that I like, that I think is really cool, or this product, for example, is a product that I wanna sell, right? Mind you, I'm in Tokyo right now, so that's why you're seeing it in Japanese yen. But disregard that, don't have the VPN on right now. So all I have to do is I can take the link from my competitor, just like this, go back into Dropmagic, copy paste. You can see that you can also take the AliExpress link, Amazon, competitor store, doesn't matter. But to get the best results, I generally like to take the competitor store, and what it's doing the market research, it's analyzing the URL, it's figuring out what this competitor store is selling, and doing all of its jazz. So it's gonna give us a product score based on how much information is on the product page itself. We'll go building the store. Of course, I want it in English. Who are you selling to? Now we're gonna pick out our ideal customer profile, our ICP, the everyday minimalist, event glamour seeker, time-saving beauty, comfort, and quality. So you're gonna wanna pick what is going to resonate most with your ICP. Let's just go into the example of time-saving beauty. Someone wants to put on these eyelashes really quickly. Of course, this has to be in direct correlation to your main marketing angle. Next, I'm gonna choose my hook angle. So we have your 60-second eye transformation, look put together effortlessly, beauty you'll forget you're wearing. I'm just gonna go with look put together, and then I'm gonna choose all these images that are already on this website. I'm gonna go to my store, and then it's gonna start doing its thing. This is what it looks like as of now, and as you can see, guys, look at how clean that looks. It's still doing its thing, but it looks really clean. And the best part about this is the UI and how you can go about editing. Look at how simple this is. If I want to change this color scheme to this, I can simply go like that. If I want to change the direct colors, the accents, the secondary, the primary, the fonts, I can change it with a click of a button. I can search it, various elements, I can change the icons, and then the border radius. And also the cool thing about this editor specifically is that I can edit directly on screen. Now with Shopify, as you guys probably know, there's a left banner where you do all your editing and then it reflects on the right side. Here you can do it literally right on screen. They make it super easy, super interactive, and that's what it's all about. Like, most of us aren't very tech savvy. We don't know how to code. And when it's this easy, it just makes the whole process go a lot quicker and allows us to focus on things that actually matter. Like, we don't need to be coding specialists. Here's the homepage. So you'll see that it generates a homepage already as is, and you can see how nicely it puts together the images. Of course, you don't want to just run it as is. You want to do your own modifications. I've actually already modified the store. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in a second, but we can see it also pulls a reviews tab. So it scans all the reviews from the competitors. It does its market research, and then from there, it'll put something together that looks really good. Now here we have the product page. If I want to add another product to this same store, I do the same thing. I add product, I insert the link, and then it'll import that onto this store. So here is the first product page that we have that we just imported and proceeded with that hook angle that that we were selecting. Tired of spending forever on your eyes? Glam in seconds. No glue, no mess, just instant perfection. And then if we look at the drop downs, how fast can I achieve this stunning look? Literally seconds. Of course, you want to change that to all your own copy. And if you're at any of the image sections, what's really cool is that you can select one of these images, you can choose media, you can also choose stock footage, right? So if I want to type in something like beauty, it'll pull up all these stock footage images that are licensed that you can then use on the store itself, just like that, with a click of a button. You can also upload your own. And then when you're editing this, you do want to be editing it on mobile. I think it's really important because most of the people that are going to visit your store are going to be on their phones. So you want to optimize it for mobile. Another thing, you can click this scan your QR and then you just pull up your phone and it's going to show you what the store looks like on your phone, and it'll be live on your phone as is. So I think that's a really cool feature that I haven't seen with any other store builder. So all I have to do if I am happy with the edits that I have currently made, I just press publish right here. I connect my store. If you guys don't already have a Shopify store, you can click here. You're going to get it for only $1. So there'll also be a $1 a month offer attached. If you already have an existing store, you just press existing Shopify store. I've already made adjustments to the website itself. I still need to change the logo and then a few little other minor tweaks. But other than that, like, I've built out the general structure and it looks really good. So what is also cool is that if I want to make any other adjustments, I can simply do that on Shopify as well. So I can make adjustments on Dropmagic and also on Shopify. So if I want to move around, these banners, or if I want to go back onto the product page itself and rearrange things, you can still do that on Shopify, but they just make it way easier on Dropmagic. So if we just look at the website, you can see how it looks really clean. And this took me maybe 25-30 minutes of just tweaking, inserting images, videos, GIFs. I just need to change the logo, but for the most part, the general structure is really good. We have, of course, the drop downs like this, GIFs, images, reviews. So try to remember that this isn't about building the perfect store. It's about building a functional store fast that, in our case, it looks really good so that you can start testing what people want to buy. Now, here's where most people stop and think that they're completely done. They've got the brand, they've got the store, everything looks good, but honestly, you're missing the biggest opportunity to make money. And I know this because I haven't stopped implementing this simple addition since I discovered it in the end of my first year into dropshipping. And I'll guarantee to you that it'll make you more money if you do it the right way. So I want you to imagine this for a second. Someone lands on your store, loves your product, they buy it for $49. Great, congrats, you just made a sale. But here's what I realized when I started actually looking at the numbers. That same customer, they probably would have bought 2 or 3 of those products if I just gave them the option to, because they've already decided to trust you enough to buy something. They've already pulled out their credit card. Why wouldn't they want to get more value while they're already there? The problem is most dropshipping stores, they make it really hard for people to spend more money with them. Now, the average dropshipper approaches dropshipping like this. They find a product, they get someone to buy, they move on to the next customer. But that's actually the hardest way to make money. See, getting someone to your store the first time, that costs money. Getting them to trust you enough to buy, that takes work. But getting them to buy more once they're already there, that should be easy. So instead of thinking, how do I get more customers? Start thinking, how do I get more value from the customers that I already have? So for beginners, here's what most stores look like when they're just starting out. Here's an example. Clean, it's professional, everything is working, as you can see right here. Someone sees your product, they either buy it or they don't. That's it, one shot, one decision. But watch what happens when we add one simple element, and that's the bundles. The same product, the same page, but now look at this. Customers aren't just seeing one option anymore, right? They're seeing multiple options. They're seeing value stacks at $89.90 for 2 units. You're saving 10%. You're seeing 3 units at $119. You're saving 20%, plus we are adding in an upsell at the end. So you can see within the bundle itself, you can choose between different variants. You have that automatic 10% discount. It's very visible there. We have a backed in upsell offer that they can either check or uncheck. So that's going to help increase the average order value of each item. And then the third offer at 20% discount. So what this is doing is it's really incentivizing the customer to be like, hey, you know what? I can see this all visually on screen. Why not save money now that I know that I can save money? And hey, maybe I'll buy this item because now I'm interested in it because I'm getting $10 off. And what's cool for the customer is that they can customize everything without ever leaving this page. So if you want to set this up yourself, it's pretty easy. You just go to Rappi Bundles. I'll leave a link for you guys below to get a discount for it. And all you got to do is open up the app itself. You can see that this is a store that we've generated an extra $68,000 using the app alone. Now, what you want to do is press create a new bundle. Now you can see that you have options between volume discounts and combo products. Generally, you can do volume discounts. You can either build it from scratch. You can do a bundle plus color swatch. So it depends on your product if it has different colors, right? You're not going to add a color swatch if it doesn't. But if it does, then you select that. You can do a bundle plus that back end upsell that we did. So I've already created this. I'll show you guys what it looks like on the back end. Pretty simple to set up. You select the product that you want as the trigger. From here, you can choose between the various templates. Here, I chose Prestige. You can change the radius and whatnot. You can also enable color swatches. In this case, I didn't. There are various variants within these options, which is really cool. We have each of these at a discount. And then as you go and progress throughout this bundle, you can see that you're unlocking gifts. If we go into the offers themselves, we can, make the micro adjustments from offer 1 through 3. So you can see offer 2, we add 10%. We can change that 15, 20, however much we'd like. Offer 3, the design advanced settings. That's how you do it. I think it's, for the most part, not too hard. But the crazy thing is, this whole setup, it takes maybe 5 minutes, but here's what's wild about the results. Now, when someone sees one option, their brain goes, do I want this or not? But when they see multiple options, that shifts to which one gives me the best value. Now, you're not selling anymore. You're helping them choose how much value that they want to get. And if you have that right offer in place, your store is guaranteed to increase its average order value. Hence, you're going to make more money. Okay, so now you've got professional branding, a store that converts, a system that automatically maximizes every customer's value, but none of that matters if people can't find your store. So now comes the fun part, actually getting people to see this thing. Now, I'll tell you what I notice all the time. People spend 3 days building the perfect store, and then they spend 3 months trying to create the perfect marketing strategy. Meanwhile, the store is just sitting there making 0 sales. Now, what's the good news for us is that the best performing ads are already out there on the internet. Someone's already figured out what works for our exact product category. So instead of just sitting around trying to brainstorm the perfect creative, let's just be smart about this. So here's what smart advertisers do. They let their competitors do all the expensive testing for them, because every company that's running ads right now is basically spending money to figure out what works. Some of their ads don't do well, some do okay, and some become what we call control videos. Let me show you exactly how to spot these and how to go about using them. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go back to the meta ad library, but this time I'm not just looking for any ads, I'm looking for ones that have been running for weeks on end with the same video and multiple ads using the same creative with different text copy. So for example, we might see the same text copy being used in a bunch of videos. So this probably means that this text copy right here works really well for this competitor. That's why they're continuously using it on different videos. These are also videos that have been running for months on end. And again, they're not going to use the same ad if it's not working for them. So check this ad right here. It's been running since March 6th for multiple months. That is going to be a control video. This company has probably tested dozens of other videos, dozens of other ads, but they keep coming back to these types of ads because it makes them money. So let me show you exactly what I'm looking for when I analyze these control videos. And I'm going to use this hair loss ad as an example because it's a really good case study for us to use and talk about. So let's play it real quick.
There's a way to fix your hair loss problems you probably don't know about. Look at these 2 photos. This was me a year ago, and this is me now. The difference is pretty shocking, right? But here's what's even more shocking. I didn't use messy oils, risk my manhood with prescription pills, or spend thousands on painful transplants. I just used this one shampoo 4 times a week in the shower. That's it. For years, I thought I had to choose between my hair and my health. I was about to give up when my dermatologist told me something that made perfect sense. Hair loss happens when DHT blocks blood flow and nutrients to your follicles. Fix that environment and you might fix the problem. After researching solutions that address these factors, I discovered Spartan Root Activator Shampoo. It's completely different from other hair loss treatments because it creates the perfect environment for hair growth. After 8 weeks, I noticed less hair on my pillow each morning. After 4 months, my wife pointed out new growth at my temples. And after 6 months, my hair was noticeably thicker. The 6-month supply gives you the best value at 66% off. That's less than $1 per day.
That's a good ad. I don't even have this problem, but I would buy one. But right off the bat, as you can see, they show that visual hook is literally unzipping a bald dude's head to reveal hair underneath, as we saw. Audio on top of that is there's a way to fix your hair loss problems you probably don't know about, which if this is a problem that you have, it's gonna make you curious and keep listening. Then they go through all of the failed stuff that people have probably tried, messy oil, side effects, expensive transplants, basically saying, I know what you've tried and why it sucked. And then, they go into the before and after photos with timeline, which gives credibility. They do the whole authority boost thing. But here's what was the smart move here is that they position this thing as different, something that nobody's really seen before or heard of before, not better, which is way more believable than saying this is the best thing ever. But the thing is, this same structure works for pretty much any product. The details change, but that flow is gonna stay consistent. Now look, I know I just threw a lot at you guys. Product research, store building, finding control videos. It's honestly a lot to process, especially if you're just getting started or completely new to this. I get messages every single day from people saying, Andy, this all makes sense, but I'm stuck on actually executing it. Now, I feel like most of you guys do understand these strategies in theory, but when it comes to finding your first winning product or setting up your store the right way, you freeze up, and that is totally normal. But if this sounds like you and you want me and my team of 8-figure e-commerce brand owners to personally walk you through this entire process, we work with a very small group of people one-on-one each month. We'll hop on calls, review products with you, we'll help spot what's working within your niche, basically guide you through every step until you're actually making money. So if you're interested in working directly, there is a link in the description, and I only take a few people each month because I want to make sure that everyone's getting the attention they need to succeed. But if you're not ready for that, no worries, it's not the end of the world. Let me show you exactly how to get started implementing this in your own strategy. So when you're just starting out, your goal isn't to create the perfect content, it's to create something that works well enough to prove your concept. And we got two options for recreating these type of control videos that I just showed you. Option one, create new content. And that's recording your own version using the same formula. So the same hook style, the same problem solution structure, just with your own footage. So option two, in my opinion, it's the easiest way, is to use content that's already out there. So UGC creators, existing product videos, even supplier footage, and recreate those edits as long as it follows the control video formula. Now keep in mind that this option two is just for the initial testing to prove concept. Once you're making consistent sales, you're definitely gonna want to switch to your own original content so that you can avoid any potential copyright issues that may arise down the road. Now the good thing is that creating content used to be the sole production, but now we have ChatGPT that can generate actual good product photos, Sora or VO3 that can create videos that look like they were shot by a production team that would have cost thousands of dollars, and you can use that for B-roll in between clips for your edits. But the idea is this, you're not copying their exact video, you're using their proven formula with different content, or that same content just mixed up and mashed up, edited different. So here's the process. First, find 3 to 5 control videos for your product or your product category. 2, identify the common pattern. So what hooks do they use? How do they structure the problem section? So on and so forth. 3, source your content. Either film new content or use AI tools or find the existing footage that's already out there. 4, follow their structure, but with your own content. And 5, test your version. See if it performs as well as the original. This is going to be your MVP approach. Get something live, test it, see if people actually want to buy your product. But once you've proven that this thing works and you're getting consistent sales, that is when you can start investing in the good stuff. Because the truth is, if you're going to scale this, you need content that feels authentic, not just recycled supplier footage or clips of other people using packaging in it. So instead of using the existing footage, you can start working with creators who make content specifically for your brand. Now the key is finding creators who really understand your market. Here's how to find them. You can go on X or direct outreach by simply typing in your niche and then UGC creator, and then reaching out to them over DM, or you can create a post on X as well. And then you can also check out their portfolios on Instagram or TikTok. And funny enough, Fiverr is actually a solid option as well. Just make sure that you cross-check their reviews and their portfolios. Now you're going to want to look for creators who are already making content in your niche that know the audience and understand the pain points. You want to pay attention to their camera presence. Are they comfortable talking to the camera? Do they feel natural? Does it seem forced? Give them clear briefs based on those control video formulas that you found. Now, once you found the right person, you need to take note of this. Don't just send them the product and say, read this script to a T. That's how you're gonna get generic content that doesn't convert. Instead, show them the control videos that you found and say, hey, recreate this structure, but make it your own. Now you can give them the hook approach on how to handle the problem section, the solution setup, basically give them the blueprint, but let them put their own personality into it, and that's what's gonna make it authentic. Now, when you give creators that freedom within a proven structure, the content comes off way more natural. And natural content converts way better because people can actually tell when someone genuinely believes in something that they're talking about. Now, here's what most people don't understand. Successful ads aren't successful because they're creative. They're successful because they tap into something that already resonates with people. So when you find a control video, you're not just finding an ad, you're finding a proven psychological trigger that makes people in your niche want to buy. So we can go back to that hair loss ad that I showed you. Someone spent thousands of dollars testing different hooks, different structures, different calls to action, and this is what survived. This is what's making them money. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, just use the wheel that's already working. Hey, if you've made it this far, first of all, you're a G. I appreciate that, really. But it also means that you're actually serious about starting something in this year. So honestly, be proud of that. Most people, they watch these videos and they think, yeah, cool, and then they never do anything. But you stuck around for this whole damn thing, which tells me that you're different. So if this helped you out, click that like button. Really does help show this to more people that will need it. And if you guys are interested in working one-on-one with me and my team, it's gonna be that first link below. Other than that, keep crushing it on your stores. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.